Hey everyone, Galactic Seas. We're going to continue to try to work up the ladder here. We're going to be using our nature deck. The deck that I'm running here is a heavy early minion into late game. The mulligan for this, I figured, is something that I really want to focus on. In the past, choosing the cards that, or swapping cards that you start out with is going to be very important for me with this deck. By going against the mage, I'm going to choose the animal bond. I foresee the mage having... Actually, I'm going to keep that card. Let's roll that too and see what we can get. Let's keep this. It could come in handy later on. Earlier than we think, probably. The reason we kept the 4 mana card is because it has a blue shield around it. And that blue shield is ward. Blocks 1 instance of destroy, transform, sleep, or non-attack damage from any opponent's source. Also, the afterlife on that is add an Imperial Sentient Shard beneath the second card of your deck. So this goes back to beneath the second card of your deck. Okay. We don't want their final drafts to be upgraded. I'm still not quite sure what that means exactly. But like I said before, keeping this card was actually a very good choice. I didn't anticipate them to be running minions, however it's not uncommon. The mage definitely has some very good board clearing cards. Oh, that's a very, very good card. I'm debating on what I want to do next. Let's throw out the Black Jaguar because it's a heavy presence on the board. I do want to remove the shield off of that. If they want to clear this, it'll force them to use their mana, or maybe a board clear spell or a minion clear spell. And let's see how it goes for them. Next turn, I think I will coin in my second mana gem, and we'll play the Imperial Sentient. Oh, interesting. We could play the Imperial Sentient Shard now, or fill our boards with Blade Flies. Let's try that. That might be a little bit harder to clear. It's a lot easier to clear 1 minion than it is to clear 3. This card, I believe, used to spawn 4 of these, which was definitely OP. I think there was a card balance, and there was the 4th additional minion was removed. By going second, we get 3 full mana crystals that we can use once per turn. If you go first, you only get 1 mana crystal that you can use once per turn. I do like to save that mana crystal for later in the game. Sometimes it is I would say it's situational. If you see a lot of heavy early board control, or you see that you yourself can have pretty good early board control, you can use that and start filling your board, or trying to get control. Or if the game's going pretty well, kind of even, or you have good board control, it's always a good idea to save it until later. That way, maybe you're at 4 mana, you can jump right into 5 mana and pull a 5 mana minion with pretty good stats that will help keep pressure. I like the draws here. I did want to play both my Wild Hogs. Let's play the Wild Hogs and then use our hero power. Or as I said before, we have the option here to do the Wild Hog, maybe coin in the Imperial Sentient. If it does, it will return back into our deck underneath the second card. Okay, so beneath the second card of your deck, Let's use that. Oops. That'll continue to give us a 4 mana um, minion with ward, which is ward is a pretty good shield to have against mage. Wow. This is an upgraded card. Um, that's why it has that blue border around it. It looks really cool. I like it. So that's I don't know what level of. There are a different level of cards. I don't remember what that one is. So this is purple. That's a shadow card. I really like the shadow cards. So they look pretty awesome. So here we'll board clear the best we can. We can use the moonbeam. It'll shoot us back up to 5 mana. Let's go ahead and do that. You have to be frenzied, so that means you have to, when you do direct damage to the opposing god, that's what frenzy is. Let's clear this. They can definitely take care of it with their hero power. We hit with the boar or the wild hog because we want to keep these cards as healthy as possible, make it a little bit more tough for them to clear. Based on so this is a very good situation. A card I was gonna go for the 1 mana drop, a form of power. However, with this we have more options to pick, so we can gain 7 favor, deal 2 damage, or heal ourselves for 4, or draw a card. I did not throw out any more cards because I didn't want to empty my hand. They may have a board clear. So in order for them to clear that card, they had to deal 4 damage to an enemy creature, so they lost that card. That's the second one they pulled, I believe. Yep, correct. That's the first, and that's the second. And they also had to use their hero power. Now that card is going to go, or a copy of it, will go back into our deck like we read off earlier. Here we're going to take the 2 mana, draw a card, just so we have cards on the board. We'll throw our 2 mana so we can draw a card and keep the card in hand. Another wild hog so that there's more pressure on the board. Let's throw this out because as frontline, we won't have any other. It doesn't have any other value besides. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So this card won't have any other value besides drawing us a card. They don't have any minions on the board to attack me or my other minions, but it will help with drawing another card if they do have a way to board clear. I believe the mage. There is a card that deals 2 damage to each enemy creature. I believe that's a 6 mana card. There's also, wow, they have some very spendy cards, I would say. Yeah, deal 2 damage and then deal 1 damage, I believe. Yes. They cleared because it has spell boost, so their spells do 1 additional damage. Here's our Imperial Sentient again. Let's pull that to keep pressure. We'll pull out our 1 mana card. It's good to be efficient, but 3/6. They'll be at 6.5 mana next turn. If they have what is the name of that card? It's a 7 mana card, and it just does 5 damage to all the enemy creatures. Once you hit 5 mana, after that it takes after that it takes um, the mana. It takes the mana crystals get divided into, I think, half, third, and then fourth. So in order to get to six mana, it takes 2 turns, and then in order to get to 7 mana, it'll take 3 turns after you hit the 6 mana mark. It was a pretty good deck. We kept really good board control and made some pretty good decisions, which led us to our victory. I think that was really, really awesome. I wasn't too excited about the early 1 mana drops coming in later in the game, only because we want those cards early, as early as we can. I did choose to keep some key cards that I figured would go well against the mage, and they turned out to work out pretty well, especially that sentient shard. Took it took quite a bit of what would you say? It took a lot of their cards, or it took a lot of power, I suppose, to clear them. Those the blue shields, the ward around some of those cards against the mage, is something that's very tough for them to shake off. Now, that'll be it for this one. I am gonna upload another game. I'm debating on whether I should change out my deck and play the Deception God. She's one of my favorites. I think she is my favorite so far. Um, I've played with all the other gods before. Nature is very strong, and that's my second go-to god. However, the for me, doing constructed with the Deception God is very, very fun. You can definitely throw people off their game when they're not expecting the Deception God. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys up on the next one.